Hey folks, Pirate here. It's London in 1872. I have entered into the service of a new gentleman. What on earth is this, you might ask? And I might tell you. Well, I will tell you in a moment. It would seem he is a gambling man. Oh, I'm so excited, In association with Cape Guy, Inkle Studios presents, directed by Jon Ingold and Joseph Humfrey. Script by Meg Jayanth. Brilliant script, by the way. You're going to love this. Yes, come on. What are we playing? Everyone wants to know. You've seen it in the title. What am I doing? The suspense is all lost. 80 days. Oh, folks, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited to play this game. I have played it just enough to get to grips with the game, based on the novel by Jules Verne. I played it just enough to get to grips with it and understand the mechanics, but I haven't really spoiled anything for myself or for you. And let me tell you, we are in for a right old treat. Let us begin in London. Oh my gosh! I could turn the sounds down. I know they're a little bit sort of like I have the option to do so, but I really like the atmosphere when things are busy and noisy in certain cities and sort of overwhelming and it crowds out your head, and I think it really works well. So I'm not going to change that. Live with it. Let us begin. In the evening, Monsieur Phileas Fogg returned home early from the Reform Club. It's very unusual if you've read the book. And in a newfangled steam carriage besides. I helped him down, and the iron-lunged, steam-driven horses clattered away. That's right, it's steampunk. You know it. You know I love steampunk. I love Jules Verne. It's going to happen. Passepartout, said he. We are going around the world. Around the world, monsieur? I asked, utterly astonished. We shall circumnavigate the globe within 80 days. He was quite calm as he proposed this wild scheme. We leave for Paris on the 8:25, in an hour. What? Okay, right, if you haven't read Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne, or perhaps seen the cartoon adaptation, which was seemingly in the vein of Dogtanian. It was all told with cats instead of dogs, and it largely hewed close to the story, which is impressive. Same with Dogtanian. Hated it, the cartoon, as a kid, and I've just rewatched the first episode, and I'm like, actually, it's not too bad. It's quite... Anyway, I'm rambling now. The joke here is that Passepartout, that's us, we are Passepartout, the valet of Phileas Fogg. We've just been employed this morning by him, because he fired his last valet for being unpunctual. He doesn't like unpunctuality. And we entered his employ very excited because he was such a stay-at-home guy. He never goes anywhere. And we're like, oh, we're so tired of travelling. We grew up in the circus, and then we were a fireman in Paris, and oh, it's all too much. We just want to settle down and have a nice, easy job being a valet for a guy whose routine never changes. And then on the first day, he comes home from the Reform Club, and he's like, right, we're off around the world. You're like, oh, God, you dickhole, why would you do this? Anyway, but I've not prepared, or you are in jest. Seems much the same to me. You are in jest, I told him, in dignified affront. You make mock of me, monsieur. I am quite serious. Pack an altimeter and my evening jacket. There is not a moment to waste. Our character is polished. Why would that matter? I don't quite know, if I'm honest. I've not figured out all the mechanics. But we, Passepartout, now have funds. 4,000 of them. We have 4,000 funds. Yay! So, new route discovered. London to Paris. Quickly, Passepartout, collect our things and we'll be off. Look, time is ticking away. We've not got long. Let's, that sells for a lot in Paris. We don't need that. We do need that. We don't need the playing cards, but we'll take the evening jacket. There we go. We've only got room for a certain amount of things, so time waits for no man. Our completed Englishman's wardrobe should help us negotiate times of upper-class journeys. We must discover our route as we go. Onwards, onwards, quickly, we've got time. Okay, departs at 8. Departing now! Let us go! Ooh, that was close. I thought it was at 8:25, but it was at 8. Well, we cut that close. We are on the Amphitrite Express. How exciting. The mechanical horses. I love the look of these. Can you see it in the background there? The mechanical horses raced past Piccadilly Circus and Pall Mall faster than a team of thoroughbreds. Even so, the whistle of the 8:25 was blowing as we pulled up to Charing Cross Station. "We have no tickets!" I exclaimed. Or we raced along the corridor. "Well, we have no tickets. What are we going to do?" I exclaimed in horror. "That does not signify," Mr Fogg remarked over his shoulder as he hurried toward the platform. "We must not miss this train!" I rushed after him, and we leapt aboard. Just as another train whistle pierced the air, a guard raised his thick brows at us as we settled into a nearby compartment. He held out a hand. "Tickets, please." Pretend. No, we are a valet to a great English gentleman. We will not be dishonest. We will just expect everyone to bend to our will, because that's how this works. "Alas, monsieur, we were in a great hurry," I explained, giving him a beseeching look. "We did not have time to buy tickets." "You may purchase them from me," the guard was saying, "though it is more expensive, I'm afraid. £85, please." I'm not going to argue with him. Let us a little decorum, if you please. I handed over the £85 and smiled a thin smile from one working man to another. The guard gave me our tickets and slid the compartment door shut behind him with a pneumatic hiss. "Your funds have gone down somewhat." "Pfft, not worried. We've got a wax cylinder in our baggage to sell in Paris. It'll fetch a pretty penny, I understand. Let us move on." I am on fine form despite your efforts. You're quite the flamboyant type, I see." "Oh, go to hell." "Let us converse with Mr Fogg. Passepartout? About the journey." "What is the purpose?" "I have made a hefty wager, and I do not intend to lose." This journey will be most expensive, monsieur." "Indeed, but we can earn a little from buying and selling our possessions as we travel." "Very good." And on we go to Paris. How is the train going to cross the channel? Welcome to the world of steampunk, ladies and gentlemen. London's smog gave way to rolling hills and the pastures of the Kentish countryside, still untouched by the hand of technological advancement. Mr Fogg read his paper whilst I repacked our bags, or we passed the day in silence. Yeah, that's fine. Thrown together in haste and confusion. As afternoon turned inexorably to evening, I discovered that my master was one of those gentlemen who broke their silence rarely, if at all. A guard rapped on our door, a few miles before Dover. "We're about to submerge," he warned. "Take some people a bit funny, so watch out." "But what do you mean, submerge?" I cried. "This is the London to Paris Amphitrite Express," he explained, as though to a particularly dim-witted child. "The submersible train? Talk of all the London papers?" I must have missed it," I admitted humbly. "Missed it?" he said scornfully. "Every inch of her has been examined and stamped with the artificer's seal. This is the world's only bath-escape locomotive." I pressed my face to the window glass. As the fins above the Amphitrite's wheels extended with a hydraulic hiss. Night fell, and we plunged past the end of the track into the freezing water of the English Channel. Your character is now manicured. I don't know if that's better or worse than polished, honestly. This is exactly how the Channel Tunnel works, by the way, if you've not been on it. It's quite an experience. I've been on the Channel Tunnel train probably, I don't know, a handful of times. Sometimes for leisure, sometimes for work. And you can't really see any fish past about the first 200 meters because it's too deep. And, you know, there's no light gets down there, so... but it's still kind of exciting. It's a little bit scary, because, you know, all you need is one crack and the whole train will just explosively compress. But apparently it works fine. There's never been an accident, so, yeah. "You seem to have a flair for trouble, Passepartout." "What the hell are you talking about? What trouble? I just..." Jerk. The Amphitrite ploughed through the water overnight and splashed up onto wider gauge French tracks as Calais as dawn broke. How do you move a train from narrow gauge to wide gauge tracks? Presumably the wheels kind of telescope out a bit on the axle? I don't know. "Do you have a route in mind, monsieur?" I asked as the water of the channel dried from the compartment windows. "I am as yet undecided," my master admitted. "The new canal has sped up the shipping route from Suez to Bombay, though perhaps we could take the Trans-Siberian Railway across Russia." That's an interesting choice. Now, I believe the route in the book took us through the Suez Canal via Bombay, and where did it go? Yeah, I think I can't remember how it starts, but you go through the Suez Canal, down the Red Sea, and around the peninsula to across the Indian Ocean to Bombay, and then it's the train across to, is it Madras? And then by boat again to, let's see, I think Hong Kong or Singapore, and then to Yokohama, and then across the Pacific Ocean to San Francisco, I think. I mean, it's a Jules Verne steampunk novel. It's got to have San Francisco in it, and then all the way across to New York, and then by steamer again. So that would be the traditional Jules Verne 80 Days Around the World route. But the whole point of this game is you can choose your route. You can decide your own fate. You can choose how to travel, where to travel, and you have to discover the route as you go. You don't have anything planned out ahead. You've got to figure it out yourself. So, you know, you have to ask people questions as you're traveling, or as you walk around the town. You have to, you know, pick up timetables and things that tell you about routes. You've got to figure it out as you go. If your knowledge of world geography is as atrocious as mine, this is a problem, because you don't know who to ask what. You don't know what cities you're asking about. So this is going to be challenging. But that's a good thing, in my opinion. So, do we want to go via Bombay, or do we want to go to Siberia via Siberia? It's always been an ambition of mine to take the Trans-Siberian Express. Quite seriously, I very nearly did it once. Didn't have the funds in the end. It takes about 2 weeks, I think, to go from, I believe it's from Cologne. It starts, although you have to... No, it starts in St. Petersburg. But you can take a train. You can take the train all the way from London to basically Irkutsk and the peninsula. But yeah, it's about 2 weeks, I think, from Cologne all the way across Russia on the Trans-Siberian Express, which is cool and exciting. I say that, it's probably quite boring, but it still sounds fun. I want to do it. Anyway, which way are we going to go? I think we're going to go the... Surely not. Now, is this... If I say surely not Siberia, is that going to sort of encourage us to take the Bombay route? Or is it like, surely not as in, let's talk about Siberia? So, I'll say surely not Bombay, just to see what he says. Surely not Bombay, I exclaimed. We're French, by the way. We're Passepartout. Jean Passepartout, I believe is our name. And I will do all the accents. And they're terrible. My accents are terrible, and I don't mean anything, but it's probably a little bit racist when I do it. I don't mean it that way. I'm just trying to reproduce the voices as authentically as I can. So I apologise in advance. Do feel free to smack me down for it. I probably deserve it. Surely not Bombay, I exclaimed. We shall certainly wilt in the scorching heat. Then we would do well to buy hats and linen trousers, he replied. There are other alternatives. We may also travel overland and across the Black and Caspian seas. But which is fastest? That is our only concern. 80 days. Fastest. I believe, said he, that is what we shall put to the test. Good answer. Parbleu, I scarcely knew what to think. We arrived at Paris Gare du Nord just after 1 o'clock, and that clock in the top is going to start ticking. Automaton porters lifted our luggage and then our persons onto the platform with long, delicately filigreed iron arms. Paris, city of my heart, la cité de mon cœur. I was home, but not to stay. Ooh, new routes discovered. Via the Suez Canal and Jeddah, on the east coast of the Red Sea, past Aden and on to Bombay. Oh, and the Trans-Siberian Express seems to wiggle all over Moscow, Yekaterinburg, Omsk. Where else have we got? Irkutsk, Karimskaya, and then finally to... Yeah, okay. Karimskaya. I've never heard of that. My geography is terrible. Oh, time is passing. Okay. Several of our possessions would sell effectively here. We will have to explore Paris to find an onward journey. Okay, first of all then, market. Let us sell our wax cylinder, which is going to go for a pretty penny. Absolutely. We're keeping that. Travelling cloak, gentleman traveller set. No. This is valuable in Warsaw and Budapest. We're not. We might be going via Budapest. Oh, shaving kit, valeting set. This will make him happy, and it's only £4. And this is 32 quid and worth 2,300 in Berlin. Do you know what? Even if we just sell it for roughly the same price, that's worth it. This is cheap. It's so cheap. I might as well just grab it. You never know if it might come in handy. We can always abandon it later. Now, let us explore. If we go to the bank, that allows us to withdraw money, but it takes a lot of time. Like, the more money you want to withdraw, the more days you lose. Ah, so exploring has opened up a few routes. We had a few hours to spare. I asked Mr Fogg if I might enjoy my city. My city, le cité de mon cœur, before we had to leave. Indeed, and should you learn anything of note, be sure to relay it. I nodded and headed into town. The talk on the streets was of one thing only, an enormous, elegant oval stadium constructed upon the green fields of Champ de Mars and containing the technological marvels, art, amusement parks, and milling crowds of the World's Fair of 1872. Woo-hoo-hoo! Let's not talk about the war of last year. Mr Fogg did not intend for me to visit fairs. Screw Mr Fogg, this is the World's Fair. Sure. I ventured inside the grand illuminated pavilions of the exposition. I went west towards the airship hangar, past a booth with a husband and wife pair selling panoramic hot air balloon rides to eager tourists. I'm not really interested in taking a balloon ride right now, not for fun. The airships, however, are of more interest. The hangar was crowded with airships and flying vehicles of all shapes and sizes, attended by sharp-eyed crews from all over the world, and my eye was immediately caught by... I don't think we're actually going to Africa. We're going by Africa, but not to. So I'm not fussed about that. The gilded Egyptian Ifrit class airship. Interesting. The metal-clad four-propeller Savarkar Atmotic. That's Indian, I believe. The bulky coal-gas-powered Ottoman Gaik. Or the twin-bladed Peruvian Gyrocopter. Oh, cool. How very cool. This is probably more useful to us, because I think we're going via India, if we're going to stick to the original route. But this is so cool. I've got to know. By the twin-bladed Peruvian Gyrocopter, which looks tiny and flimsy in comparison with the airships surrounding it. What is it? They say the Incas invented the first gyrocopter, boasted the dark-haired pilot, pushing up her goggles to give me a wink. Ah, female pilot. Awesome. I'm pretty sure... I don't recall if the... I don't think that it was particularly progressively feminist text, the original book. But I think the game probably is, and this makes me happy. Pushing up her goggles to give me a wink. As their heirs, we Peruvians have made some few improvements. It seems extremely unlikely, or you do not see many Peruvian gyrocopters in the air. That is true. You do not see many Peruvian gyrocopters in the air, I remarked. Are they unsafe? The lady shook her head. No, they are quite safe, but they are quite hard to build. Perhaps one day soon, Mr Fogg and I would find ourselves flying in such a craft. I returned to the exposition centre, my thoughts turning with clouds and engine rotors. Avenues sprawled in every direction between the inviting, illuminated pavilions of the exposition. I'm not leaving yet. We've got an artificer to talk to. Replacing an arc light, which had burned out. She, again, another woman artificer. Cool. She first disconnected the strange machine powering the lights. It had a spinning iron wheel, which was wound around with a series of armature coils. I don't want to disturb, but let's have a chat. What is that device, artificer? I asked politely, my eye straying to the copper lily pin which proclaimed her profession. It's a bleeding nuisance is what it is, the artificer grumbled in a thick Yorkshire accent. Oh, okay. It's a bleeding nuisance is what it is. These gram machines are finicky beasts. Gram machines? Is that so? I have often found that to be the case. If you say so. I think, isn't a gram machine isn't that a sort of a term for a generator? I don't know. Let's ask her. Gram machines? I inquired. Well, it's oh, never mind. She waved my question away. It's a steam engine, all right. Only it doesn't make steam. Will that do? I hate explaining this stuff to laymen. Oh, I retreated hastily, not at all in terror of her irate tone. Honest, she doesn't scare me, this woman with a wrench. Or the harshness of her tone was belied by her gentle touch. As she unscrewed the arc light's globe of enamelled glass and replaced the 2 carbon rods within, she reconnected the supply, and the 10 Yablokov candles, connected in series, lit up once more. Will all streets be lit with electricity soon? I asked. There are already a fair passel of cities lit by electricity rather than gaslight, she retorted. London will probably be last, given old Queen Vicky's prejudice against the Artificers Guild. The Queen is against you? But Paris is modern, and we still use gaslight. Surely London is the capital of invention. Let's keep it political, shall we? She's just cautious, that's all, the Artificer replied, pocketing a screwdriver once more. Very diplomatic. Well done, Artificer. She really knows how to navigate this world, doesn't she? Knows real power when she sees it, though, that's what I'd say. She looked at her pocket watch, cursed, and hurried off, dropping something as she went. I'm not going to pocket that. I'm going to return it to her. We are gentlemen. I hurried after her, returned it, and she thanked me. My medallion! I'll need that to get my lunch from the canteen. Thank you. I bowed in return, or I waved, duty done, and walked away. No, we're going to bow. And she giggled. Oh, stop that. You'll make me blush. She rubbed the coin thoughtfully. I was given this for my work in Istanbul, you know. I made a very special automaton. I think it works as a driver now, on the route up from Izmir. I think that's right. An interesting tidbit. She smiled. We artificers go all over the world, you know, she declared. How about that? Then she bid me farewell. Crowds of tourists jostled and heaved past, their eyes wide with wonder. I think I'm in love, by the way. I headed towards the red and purple tents of the Artificers Guild, or I took a stroll down the Avenue of Nations. Yeah, the Artificers Guild. There's a lot of artifice going on around here. I think we'll head on towards the Artificers Guild. And I'll see you next time, folks. And I will explain why we're playing 80 Days today of all days. See you then, folks. Bye!